C. David Toulis.
On Thursday of last week, an important document was delivered to the House of Representatives in Nashville. It was a document, 90 pages of legal analysis and complaint by a CPA who lives in Goodlettsville, Tennessee. His name is John Gentry. And the document was delivered to the state house, the entire state House of Representatives, with a shocking declaration. The document was delivered through a protected book.
Oh, okay. Thanks for having me on your program. I appreciate that very much. This was what's called a petition of remonstrance. And I really don't know a whole lot about that or how that mechanism works, actually, and I don't think anybody in the House does either. And the clerk advised Mr. Gentry that in order to file this petition, it had to be presented by a legislator in the House. And so he came to me and asked me if I would be willing to file it on his behalf. And I said, well, yeah, and he's got some things in there that I'm interested in anyway. There's an issue with pulling judges underneath the purview of the House. According to Section 5, or Article 5 of the state constitution, it says that responsibility of oversight over judges and impeachment and removal falls squarely on the shoulders of the House of Representatives. Well, back in '73, I think the legislature abdicated that responsibility to an oversight committee made up, I think, of some citizens and judges alike. So we of course just erred from what our state constitution says we're supposed to do. So I had an interest in that anyway, because some of that is what John Gentry was filing in this petition. What I'm quick to say is two things. There's nothing heroic about what I did. All I did was file it on his behalf. He's the one that did all the work on this. And the second thing, David, is I'm not against lawyers and judges. We need them. I am for the Constitution, and that's where I want to rest, and that's the kind of things I'm interested in fixing.
Well, did you have time to read any of the 90-page analysis that lists the complaint, that lists the bills and practices and actual statutes which lawyers have passed sort of in their own interest? Have you had a chance to digest some of that, or Representative Hulsey?
Yeah, I actually spent a great deal of time reading. He had sent these out to every House member by email, and I had read many pages of it, but I have not digested all of it.
Yes, sir. Well, listen, my listener wants to thank you for getting this out there before the House, and that was Thursday, and I think earlier in the week, I think last Monday of not this week, but the week before, the petitioner John Gentry got that to be filed by the Senate clerk. So the Senate clerk went ahead and took it. The House clerk delayed and refused to deliver it to the House members, and so you. you may be asked again to shepherd the calendar so that it can be argued, because John, like, he has demanded.
Well, I've got to see how this plays out, because I'm not assigning anything sinister to any of the clerk or staff in the house. They're good people. They just have never run into this, and I think they are scrambling around to try to see by Mason's rules and the Constitution what we're supposed to do. And again, like you said, nobody's ever used this since 1850, so there is no process for this. You know, nobody knows. So I think that's what they're doing is scrambling around to see, okay, what do we do with this and how do we do it?
Well, I hope for my listeners.
Well, you bring up a good point. I mean, like I said, I'm not against judges and lawyers. You have to have them, and in my district, I got really good folks here. But what John is saying, yeah, we've got to bring back under the umbrella of the Constitution and do it right. But the other side of that too, David, and here's what you're dealing with. You have folks in the legislature. This is not their professional job. They all have careers. Almost all of them have careers. And from time to time, they vote on things that actually specifically deal with their careers. I don't think you can get out of that.
Well, they can't. They're not allowed to do that. I think by the House rules, or even in the Constitution, you cannot vote on something in which you have an interest. If you have an interest in lawyering or that profession, you have to abstain. You simply have to say, "I'm sorry, I have an interest in this. I cannot vote on it." But that apparently many times in the past has just been thrown out with high disregard of the people's rights.
Well, like I say, I want to do what the Constitution says. I retired from the police department up here after 36 years, and I was the watch commander the last 25, and that was my whole focus on my shift and platoon was, hey, our first allegiance is to nobody else except the Constitution of the United States. That's the rule book that we play by, and that's the same way I feel in this.
Well, listen,
hey, thank you. Have a good weekend.
This is David Toulis, and we've been talking with State Representative Bud Hulsey, who on Thursday entered into the record before the assembled host of the Tennessee House of Representatives. Your petition is from the state's third governor, and the handbook. If we had the system itself is structured to exist as if knowledge was rare, difficult to obtain, and expensive, and we have to have state payroll employees who are specially certified to teach the rising fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth generation now, even maybe 10 or 15th generation, since that cartel began under state auspices, and it's in the Constitution. So, it must be good, right? It must be good if it's in our state constitution. The number again to get your point. If you haven't heard them, you can just let me tell you that many has the most dope you can imagine of all having been seized one by because of her brothers, no sisters. That's what the state does. It is a machinery that operates, and so all across the state we have the loss of due process rights. That is what's happened. Your rights are you can't do that. You're constantly told, well, you can't do that. You don't have the right to enter that evidence, and the like. And we've covered here, for example, in the Jay Hirsch case on the David Tulis show, how the judges have said you don't have the right to move. You're not free to move. Took a tour. What we don't have is anyone saying, well, we really can't support your system anymore. Okay, we want it to be better, but we can't support it anymore. No one can say that. No one is able to say that. No one individually can say it. And when you get in the context of the Chamber of Commerce, you can't say it either. You just can't say that it's failed and we need to abandon it. No one will say it. Well, somehow they think, well, if I say I'm somehow consigning them, I'm condemning them to a system which is flaming down. Well, it's flaming down whether you say something or not. So the question is, all people who we've got to just reject the idea of the reporter has to maintain good contacts with Brian Johnson, the superintendent, and maybe Christy Gillenwater, who is the CEO of the Chamber of Commerce. No one will ever, in writing a report like that, in the daily grind of the news, let you see that, right? They will withhold. But constantly given sources and tips, and I don't need to be stroked by any important people at all, whether it's the but we need to say, let's return to the main idea of the marketplace. Let's shift our resources to something else. Let's shift our resources to disestablishing public schools so that we can have real. So in the free market, well, they're not there, and that is because they've made social commitments, they've made personal commitments, corporate commitments, and they want to help people in the public school. They want to help the system. I understand the good nature of that. I understand the goodwill in that, and I appreciate it. I do appreciate it. But we're of encouraging the disestablishment of a system that's failed, so that we can have in 10 years out or 20 years out, we can have better among young people with GEDs, or may not even have papers, or who have diplomas, whom we can hire here in Chattanooga and Hamilton County. And there are people of goodwill. The fact that you have nominal or minimal literacy, that's not a mistake. That is simply not a mistake at all. That is part of the design. When phonics was thrown out in favor of the look-say method, which all of the scholars. And do we want to be like that in Chattanooga County and Southeast Tennessee? Well, maybe it's okay. Maybe we can just tread. City, county, we need to do better, or we're not going to support you anymore. You need to, we don't fix it in the next 2 years, and that would be disassembly. Maybe I'm proposing something that's just impossible.
3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
Suspects sought in that Georgia mass murder. The GBI trying to track down Dalen Gamble from Rockmart. He's accused of killing 4 people in Polk County, Georgia. The police believe he may have escaped in a Ford truck, then ditched it. The police recovered that truck. One of his alleged victims had to be airlifted to the hospital. 2 people injured, 4 dead. Tad Cummins, a former teacher who's convicted of kidnapping a 15-year-old girl and taking her across state lines for sex, appeals his 20-year sentence. Cummins was arrested after a multi-day manhunt and Amber Alert last year. His victim was found safe and sound, but the damage had been done. East Ridge has been plagued with a different type of crime, mail theft. Assistant Chief Stan Allen says it's gotten so bad they've sent out patrol cars to watch out for people stealing mail right out of the boxes. Many thieves were caught on camera. Russell Stroud, Nooga Radio News Talk 92.7 Action News now.
The Tennessee Valley's News Talk Leader. News Talk Leader. Nooga Radio 92.7 FM.
By now, you'd normally hear a kicker intro bed and me telling you why you need to buy a car or truck. This is not that ad. I want to share with you the great experience that we've had at Z Motors. When Nooga Radio was looking for a Hummer, I went to Z Motors. They have over 100 vehicles on the lot, and Phil was happy to spend all the time necessary with me, point me in the right direction. If you're looking for a Jeep Wrangler, hey, you'll find more Jeep Wranglers there than anywhere in Chattanooga. Pre-owned cars, a slew of Audis, BMWs, from a 1934 Ford truck to a 2017 Volt, a Volkswagen Jetta, and a 2018 Tundra. Plus, they can find any vehicle you're looking for. You're not going to find a big fancy showroom. See, those costs that the big dealerships are added to your purchase price. You want to call Philip at 423-240-8869. That's 240-8869. On Facebook, just search Philip Clark Sales Manager for Z Motors. It's Philip Clark, Sales Manager for Z Motors. Z Motors. They're right on the corner of Hickory Valley and Shellerford Road, in front of Chattanooga Wine and Spirits. And don't forget to say hi to Rhonda, the pretty McCall at the front desk.
AJ Sports Bar and Grill, a female-owned bar since 2016. Let me tell you about AJ's. She takes this bar business serious. She has the most amazing food you'll ever get in a sports bar. It's not your typical sports bar. It's got 1-inch steaks. It's got nachos, chicken tenders. And the best thing about AJ Sports Bar and Grill is her wings. These wings are amazing. 16 different draft beers on tap. 10 other draft beers in bottle. She has dozens of TVs for every sport that you could ever watch. Well, let's talk about wings. They have the most amazing wings that you have ever eaten in all of Chattanooga. This sports guy highly recommends you go to AJ Sports Bar and Grill, get the wings, and say you heard this on the Sports Guys. AJ Sports Bar and Grill is located on 6238 Bonnie Oaks Drive in Chattanooga. Their phone number is 423-485-9080, and ask for AJ.
If an uncertain economy and runaway stock market is making you think twice about how and where to invest, you may need some professional help. Talk to a local husband and wife team who have seen it all. Ron and Christy Adams with One Family Financial. The Adams have helped clients navigate through bull markets, bear markets, recessions, bubbles, and booms, and they have the experience to put your assets to work for you while minimizing risk. Find out how Ron and Christy can keep you on track for a long, happy, worry-free retirement. 423-710-2009 or go to onefamilyfinancial.com.
As a small business owner, you know that running a business is no easy task. You're in the office and on your third cup of coffee before most even roll out of bed. That's why you need office equipment and solutions that help keep your business running smoothly. The experts at RJ Young provide office technology that ensures your business's network stays efficient and secure, so you can focus on what truly matters, growing your business. To discover how RJ Young can help your small business grow, visit rjyoung.com/smallbusiness.
Nooga Radio, Chattanooga weather.
Here in cold weather.
weather continues out there through your evening hours. Overnight tonight, fair to partly cloudy. Quite cold, lows into the lower 20s. For Saturday, mostly sunny, not bad. A little warmer, highs near 45 for Sunday. Some clouds, a spotty shower or two, highs upper 40s. Let Dodge City Ski Shop keep you and your family toasty warm with the largest selection of cold weather clothing from infants to adults in all shapes and sizes. They have it at Dodge City Ski Shop, East Brainerd Road, Chattanooga. And I'm Storm Team 12 Chief Meteorologist Baxter Report.
News Radio 92.7. Now, the smartest guy with a bow tie in Chattanooga, Tennessee, David Toulis.
You know what? And I put that. For no, it concerns Baxter, who faces his extraordinary violent and tempestuous beating with his knuckles on the face of a motorist, a traveler, using the public right of way as a matter of right. I'm pretty sure. Dragged from his car. The graduating class. I'm not sure if they heard about that award, which would be gunplay. Are using their tongues on the job. Employee 7079 2. That's employee number for Ben Pierre. No. As the wages for it. And but I don't know if I need to mention them, but in the report, the work. And the claim, the papers indicate, quote, were able to diffuse the sexually aggressive inmates in that particular instance. And another time in the I don't have it in front of me, but he said Morgan County Correctional Complex is male and male. This is a problem when make yourself a woman or having surgery as a woman to make yourself a man. These do nothing to change ultimately who you are, because there are these K-Fat remained in the cell. Eventually, another inmate was assigned to cell number 14 with K-Fat. And then he says that on December the 13th of last year, this was a letter to me from January 18, but they weren't. They were that complex and CCX male staff. Please investigate. This is a letter to a Knoxville news station, and I get copies of Grenda's filings and Grenda Harmless administrative notices. And for the name is David Toulis, and do call me if I need to be corrected about something. Do you can't if I'm new. It would be worth maybe worth going to. It's at the Kingdom Center on 7th. So it's chcrpa.org. What's wrong with your East Chattanooga neighborhood, your East Chattanooga part of town, Area 3, as it's called? What preference do you have on commercial centers? The statement offers new development and jobs, housing options, and transportation. These are all sort of the areas of interest of these people who want to have a public meeting. So it's called Area 3 Public Meeting East Chattanooga, and that is tomorrow. center. It's a church there, and of course I'm thinking, how do I allocate my time? Is that something worth going to? It might be. It really might be. And I do thank you for tuning into the program. Your report. That's HD4 channel 4 on the digital spectrum. I do have a my local-centric, Google-centric bow tie analysis. And it's GoFundMe.com, and that's the David Tullis Show. And we're brought to you by Nuganomics.com. I have a story that I'm trying to, and sometimes I if I tell you about it, I may end up just not getting it out. It's kind of a danger. So telling you is not intended to be a goad to myself to finish it, but the headline is double whammy for city employee number 70792. And the flack I've taken is that I'm humanizing this police officer. And if I could just bring that up again, I do like getting flack, and I think if I get flack from you, that's helpful to me. I'm going to do better. Stimuli, and you're not getting adverse, right? What we need to have, all of us, are feedback. What all systems need is feedback. Public education needs feedback. I need feedback. And so feedback. And I'm one, by the way, on hostage crisis day 38 at the city attorney's office. I am one to give that feedback, and the city has not had feedback on the man police powers. I don't think ever. I don't think there's been a press platform in Chattanooga that has studied. Downtown in the City Hall Annex. And the feedback is, well, hey, hold on, guys. The statute for transportation, which you fully recognize, is being abused by the mayor. Mayor Andy Burke is abusing the transportation statute by allowing, or the other, allowing city police to enforce transportation statute upon people not involved in transportation. Does that not sound like a problem, just the way I put it that way? It is the simple argument in one sentence, in fact. And so I gave some to generate some flexibility to see if the system could use feedback. I've been addressing the city government by administrative notice, urging repentance, effectively urging doing it right, especially for the chief victims of the abuse. It's called ultra virus. The chief victims of all ultra virus enforcement. Ultra virus is Latin, by the way. It means outside the scope, outside the view. So if an officer, well, it has to be within the law, right? It has to be within the scope of the law. If he's making a claim that's outside the scope of the law, well, he's doing it personally, he's doing it tortiously, and he's doing it, meaning he's doing it toward against you, and he's doing it ultra virus, outside the view of the law. So to generate feedback, adverse feedback, it is adverse to the city because it's forcing them to at least consider changing their protocols, because lawsuits are ahead. Lawsuits are definitely ahead by victims of the process. And the first one could be Ben Piazza. It just depends if Robert Floyd, the attorney who's engaged in his civil case, is alert to his opportunities. And so about the hostage crisis, that day 38, well, I asked after a good meeting with the city attorney on your behalf, right? On your behalf, I met with the city attorney. And I said, well, how is it you are enforcing the statute? There were statute. And the reasons are that the high court allows it, right? The high court allows the statute to be ignored. But after that meeting, I sent an email, and that was December 18th, and it asked a single question, effectively a question of fact. And I'm waiting for the answer, and the answer has been 38 days. It is being fed. And it's not quite necessary for him to be comfortable. And the name is David Toulis, and I do thank you for tuning in to the program. The number is 800-8949, and I'm trying to get the phone to work, and I'm not getting the phone to work. Now, there it is. I'm pushing the wrong button, and caller, this is David Toulis. Forgive me for not pushing the right button. What's on your mind?
Hey, David. I don't even know what you're talking about. Something about statutes and meeting with someone at Supreme Court and what I don't even know what you're referring to.
No, I'm
live. I'll listen on the air though, but I have no idea what you're talking about. All right, thanks. Bye.
Well, that is an important corrective, and I do thank you for it. Okay, what I'm talking about is that the city government is abusing African Americans. It is abusing immigrants. It is abusing the poor, and everybody in smaller proportions by enforcing the transportation law, which controls commerce on the roads, and enforcing it against common people who are not involved in the for-hire use of their cars and trucks. They're not commercial users. They're private users. These are people going to church. They're going to work. They're running errands. They're getting the children from school. That's not private use. Even the city attorney, when he goes from his house to church, or takes his family out for a Sunday dinner afterwards, that is called private use. But he enforces the law, and he allows the police department to enforce the law as if that law, which is on vehicles and motor vehicles, applied to them. And it doesn't. It applies only to people who are involved in the for-hire use of the roads. Now, the reason there's a conflict, and the reason Phil Knobler can sit pretty and ignore my question, is that the high court in Tennessee and the courts of appeal pretend that there is no such thing as free movement. They say there is no communication of your person, moving your person from point A to point B in the work of communication in society, apart from our permission, that all use of the road by car make everything commercial by deception. They're extorting us, and they're allowing their operatives, their agents, to enforce a commercial statute on people who are not commercial. So, Fred, the delightful encounter with the knuckles of Officer Ben Piazza was presumably involved in commerce. That's because they came at him through Title 55, which is the statute number. They came at him through that title because he was going too fast, right? If you're going too fast, you are violating your agreement with the state to obey the commercial rules, which are posted on the signs, right? Speed limits, for example. And he was violating those that rule by going, the cop said, 12 miles over the posted limit of 40 on the highway. So it was a commercial stop. And of course, he was treated like we want all good business people to be treated, with fist and threat and gun and beatings. That is a commercial question, by the way. And I have asked Christy Gillenwater of the Chamber of Commerce whether or not the chamber supports that kind of commercial enforcement. If it's commercial, it better be a lot nicer. If it's something else, well, maybe the fists are okay. Maybe that's okay. So the conflict that I have, that I've the negativity I have thrown at city government is, by no, since I've done the research, and I'm not just going to report on things, I might as well give a proper notice about the law. And I have given to Chattanooga, to the sheriff, and to some other jurisdictions a detailed analysis of the statute, and simply telling them, hey, the statute's a foot wide, and are you enforcing the statute on commerce as if it were a foot wide, or are you enforcing it as if you think it's 2 yards wide and you're scooping into the enforcement mechanism private people like Federico Wolf? And the answer is, well, there is no answer, of course, but the practice continues unabated in every jurisdiction. We will go after everybody through the commercial statute, even if they're not involved in commerce, because the high court allows it. And we have a problem. We have a serious problem here in the government of our state, and the government agencies and the government law writers and law enforcers disrespecting and in the end abusing people so much. And that is what is wrong. That is unjust. And I'm concerned about the welfare of the commoner and the poor person caught up in this trap. David Toulis. Thanks for joining.
3, 2, 1. Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news. Now.
A Dade County man has disappeared without a trace, his family looking for answers. According to WDEF, 26-year-old Nathan Johnson of Trenton was last seen after an argument with a family member. He'd gotten out of a vehicle and just simply walked away. His cell phone and bank accounts have shown no activity. If you know where he is, give police a call. Tad Cummins, the teacher who was convicted of kidnapping his 15-year-old student and having sex with her, is appealing his 20-year sentence. Cummins was arrested after a multi-day manhunt and Amber Alert. Cummins' appeal was filed Wednesday in Nashville's federal court. And 4 people were murdered, 2 wounded after a shooting in Polk County, Georgia happened after 8 p.m. Thursday night. An accused gunman was named Dylan Gamble from Rockmart. He's considered armed and dangerous and on the run. The Sean Hannity Show weekdays from 3 to 6 on Nooga Radio. Val St. John for Nooga Radio News Talk 92.7 Action News Now.
Sean Hannity, weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 p.m. on Nooga Radio 92.7 FM.
Nooga Radio 92.7. Nooga Radio, Chattanooga weather.
Cold weather continues out there through your evening hours. Overnight tonight, fair to partly cloudy. Quite cold, lows into the lower 20s. For Saturday, mostly sunny, not bad. A little warmer, highs near 45. For Sunday, some clouds, a spotty shower or 2, highs upper 40s. Let Dodge City Ski Shop keep you and your family toasty warm with the largest selection of cold weather clothing. From infants to adults in all shapes and sizes, they have it at Dodge City Ski Shop, East Brainerd Road, Chattanooga. And I'm Storm Team 12 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Moore.
Nooga Radio 92.7.
Where can you find exotic surroundings, fine dining, and a taste of Italy tucked away in Chattanooga? On Highway 58, you'll find Portobello's. They serve up food just like Mama used to make, but without the extra helping of guilt. Portobello's has fresh, homemade pasta and signature dishes sure to please, bringing you back for more. Just like Mama, the folks at Portobello's are always happy to see you and always happy to meet your friends. Call ahead for delicious takeout or just show up for their amazing Portobello's menu. Portobello'sChattanooga.com. Chattanooga's home for the finest Italian food.
Oh, it can happen to anyone. Flat tire, overheated engine, or just a clackety-clack, and now you're on the side of the road. No worries, because Doug Yates Towing and Recovery is there 24 hours a day for you. That's right, 24-hour-a-day emergency roadside assistance. And you don't have to accept who your insurance company or your road assistance provider sends you. At Doug Yates Towing and Recovery, we want you off the road as safely and soon as possible. So they'll be there in a jiffy. Doug Yates Towing and Recovery with 24-hour emergency roadside service. Call 800-407-2371. That's 800-407-2371. Online, yateswrecker.com. That's yateswrecker.com. On Facebook at Doug Yates Towing and Recovery, LLC. Doug Yates Towing and Recovery. We don't want your arms and legs, just your toes. Doug Yates Towing and Recovery is a Nooga Radio 92.7 First Responder Friday sponsor. To our first responders, Doug Yates Towing and Recovery says thank you.
$25 goes by quickly these days, and 25 cents still just a quarter. 25 is the years of experience Schultz & Associates puts behind filing your tax return quickly, correctly, and electronically. Schultz and Associates. I'm Jeff Chapman. Every year, the IRS has new rules about filing your taxes, and this year, it's no different. It all can make filing a little confusing. The professionals at Schultz and Associates can answer your questions. Multiple incomes, circumstances involving your children or family, income from rental property. You can find the answers at Schultz and Associates. Call 899-1130. Arrange for an appointment to work out the details of your tax return. Schultz and Associates, 6310 Bonnie Oaks Drive, halfway between Highway 153 and I-75.
Baseball sluggers often wear the number 25, or 25 is a full MLB roster. Just happens 25 is also the years of experience Schultz and Associates puts behind filing your tax return quickly, correctly, and electronically. Schultz and Associates, 899-1130.
The first responders. These are the men and women who put themselves in harm's way for us, and here at Nuga Radio, we want to do our part to say thank you. This Friday, we salute Stephen Short from the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office. He's served the county for over 15 years and gone above and beyond the call of duty every day. He works hard to make ours a better community. Is there a first responder you'd like us to honor? Go to NugaRadio.com and submit your nomination. First Responder Friday, sponsored by Doug Yates Towing and Recovery, the Mad Philly Sandwich Shop, New York Pizza Department, Revive Massage Therapy, and Nuga Radio News Talk 92.7.
Martin Truex Jr. is off the pace and he is headed to the pit lane. Elliott powers around the outside. Michael McDowell pops a right front tire. Here's Martin Truex to the bottom. Blaney blocks him off too. Meanwhile, Chase Elliott went 4 wide on the back straightaway. They're side by side for the lead.
Hear it live on Chattanooga's official NASCAR radio station.
Nuga Radio, 92.7 FM, 95.3 HD4.
The voice of NASCAR.
Next, CBS News, David Toulis.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by ZipRecruiter.
I'm Jim Shanavy. The partial government shutdown appears to be at an end, at least temporarily. Correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
The president is ready to give Democrats what they've asked for, a measure to reopen the government as talks continue. CBS's Major Garrett has told the president will endorse a clean funding extension of 3 more weeks through February 15th. Clean means no funding for a border wall. If it passes the House and Senate quickly, furloughed federal workers could be back at their desks by Monday morning. The broader issue, whether Congress will ultimately approve funds for a wall, will surely resurrect itself.
It's been a tough day for air travel to, from, and through the Northeast as a rash of sick calls from air traffic controllers prompted the FAA to order a ground stop at New York's LaGuardia Airport for about an hour, and it's been limiting traffic since. The result, delays across the region. CBS's Chris Van Cleve.
There was an increase in sick calls, actually 2 FAA air traffic control centers, one in Leesburg outside of D.C., and the other in Jacksonville, Florida. And that resulted in the FAA having to sort of slow down the traffic coming out of some major airports, primarily LaGuardia.
The sick calls are blamed on the government shutdown. The controllers have been working without pay. The Mueller Russia probe today prompted a pre-dawn raid and the arrest of Roger Stone, a confidant of President Trump and a very vocal hardline conservative. He's accused of obstruction of justice, witness tampering, and making false statements related to the WikiLeaks releases, which included those Clinton campaign emails.
I will plead not guilty to these charges. I will defeat them in court. I believe this is a politically motivated investigation.
CBS's Paula Reed.
Stone came to the attention of investigators with some tweets that he sent out that suggested he knew some of these releases were coming, though he's always denied that he had any insider information. But the most damaging information in this indictment for the administration is that Stone was allegedly in touch with Trump campaign officials about WikiLeaks releases.
A major cold spell is hitting the nation's midsection, plunging temperatures into the single digits. Weather Service forecaster Dan Peterson.
We're looking at overtime low temperatures for Friday and Saturday of 10 to 20 degrees below zero across much of Minnesota, northern Wisconsin, and into the western UP and Michigan for the first round of cold air.
Wind chills could hit minus 40 to 50 degrees. Now, the Coast Guard has ended the search for a missing cruise ship crew member who went overboard early Thursday off the Florida coast. Still no explanation as to whether the 26-year-old fell or jumped off Royal Caribbean's Majesty of the Seas. The search turned up no trace. On Wall Street right now, the Dow is up 194 points. This is CBS News.
ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. ZipRecruiter's technology finds qualified candidates for businesses of all sizes. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Attention shoppers, White Castle's famous sliders are available in the freezer aisle.
Oh, hey.